In this lesson, we're going to do transformations on graphs. So yesterday we did it on equations. Today we're going to do the graph. So first we're going to look at these two graphs. We're just going to say what happened. So the blue one is the original, and the green one is the new one. So if we look at this blue one, first thing I noticed is that the green one's upside down. That means it was reflected. And since it went this way, it reflected over the x-axis. Alright. I also noticed that it went from 0 to -3, so it moved left 3 spaces, right? It's the same width, 2, 2, 4, 4, so it didn't do any stretching or compressing. It didn't go up or down because it's still on the x-axis. So these are our only two things right here. We look at this one, it's the absolute value, right? One thing I noticed is that it moved up 3 spaces. I also noticed that it appears to be shorter, right? And so what I noticed is this one goes up 1 over 1, this one goes up 1 over 2, right? So it got stretched wider. That's a horizontal stretch. Since it went from 1, 1 to 1, 2, it means it was stretched by 2. And other than that, it didn't go left or right. It's still, since it's up, it went from 1, 1 to 1, 2. The ones are still the same. It was just that 1 to 2 that changed. So it didn't do anything vertically. It only did something horizontally. These are our only two there. So we're going to be doing some graphing. A couple of things to remember. When you're doing it, start closest to x. So if I have these two things, I'm going to do this -2 first, then take care of this on the outside. So start closest to x and work out. And the second thing is, if you have a negative x, so if we have something like -x plus 4 in here, before we can graph, to factor out the -1 first. So it would turn into -1 parentheses x minus 4, right? I took out the negative from both the x and the 4, leaving me with a positive x and a -4, right? That means this is going to be the reflection, and then it's going to go right 4. So watch out for those ones. Alright, so here's our first graph. So we're going to first figure out what we're going to do. So like I said, we're going to start close to x. So first thing we do is go right 1. Then we'll do the vertical compression. Then the last thing we do is go up 1. So what you do is you pick one of the points and do these 3 things to it. So I'm going to start with this one here. So I'm going to go to the right 1 spot. That puts me on the +2. Then I'm going to do my vertical compression by half. So what you do is you look at the x-axis. My point is 1 away from the x. So if I compress it by half, I will be half away from the x-axis. Okay. So when you do compression vertically, it's in relation to the x-axis. Right, so now I'm here on 2 -1/2. I'm just going to go up 1. So my final landing place is right here. Right, I went right 1, I compressed by half, and I went up 1 space. I'm going to do the same with the rest of these. So this point number here on 3, go right 1, compress by half. So right now it's 3 up, half of 3 is 1.5. So I'll land here, and then I'll go right 1. But my final spot is here. Right? And I will get rid of the extras. Do it with this one, go right 1, cut it in half. Sorry, I did that last one wrong. Right 1, cut it in half, and then up 1. So I land here. Right 1, cut it in half, up 1. And then this last one, right 1, cut it in half. So I'm up 4, so half of that would be 2, and then go up 1. And then last thing you do is just redraw the shape. Our next graph. So we start in the middle. So first thing that happened to x is that it's negative. So we reflect the y, or sorry, go back. So negative x, we have to factor it first. So factor out the negative 1. It would mean with x plus 1 here. So first we reflect the y. Go left 1. Vertical compression by half again, and then go up 2. So what I'm going to do is first I pick some reference points. So this one, here, and here, I'm going to do these 3 points. So I'll start with this one. So reflect the y-axis. So that's here. So first, if I reflect the y, that's here, I'll end up where this other green point is. Reflect, reflect. I go left 1, so I'm here. Compress it by half, so 3, cut it in half. Then go up 2, that's 1, 2. And my final place is right here. So then do it to the other point on the other side. So you reflect it, go left 1, compress it by half, and then go up 2. So this yellow point is my final point. And then do it to that bottom vertex point. Reflect the y-axis. Since it's on the y-axis, it won't go anywhere. Go left 1, compress by half, and then go up 2. Here's it. Now that I'm done, I'm going to get rid of all the extra stuff and just leave those yellow final dots. Clean it up. Here is my final answer. Remember, when you're vertically compressing, you're using the x-axis as your reference. So if it's up 2, your vertical compression would be at 1. Right? Alright, so we'll do one more. We've got here, so there's no negative x, I don't need to factor. So I start here, so that would be a horizontal compression. And then we have the negative in the front. So that reflects the x-axis. And then finally we'll go up to pick out some reference points. So I'll do these three. When you do horizontal compressions, you're using the y-axis as a reference. So when we look at these points, since this -2 is on the y-axis, it's not going to change. Right? It's just going to reflect the x-axis, which will put it on +2, and then go up 2 from there, so it's going to land on 4. The other 2 points, they're going to horizontally compress, right? So since they're a compression of 2, they're going to cut in half in relation to the y-axis. So since they're both on 1 and -1, they'll be on half and -half, right? Then they reflect the x-axis. This would go to +1 and then go up 2 from there. So it'll land on that 3. So a half 3. The other one, it compresses half and it reflects the x, so it'll be on +3 and then goes up 2 from there, putting us on 5. Right. Draw the shape. And there we go. If you have any questions, make sure you send me a remind message and we can schedule a Google Meet.